How's it going, guys? Mike with Quick Cycles here. Today we're going to be looking at a ZX14. I previously have worked on this motorcycle and we did some motor work to it and we did a real healthy shot of nitrous on it. Customer went to ride the bike one day. It was spitting and sputtering and breaking up, and so he reached out to me. I listened to the bike over the phone, told him it definitely sounded like it was starving for fuel, and gave him a list of things to check. So he decided to take the bike to a local shop, have them check those things, and they said that they were going to go ahead and clean the injectors and put a new fuel pump in it. They did that. Customer picked his bike back up, still doesn't run. He elected to go ahead and bring the bike up to me in South Carolina, even though it's a trek, just because he knew I'd be able to get him straight. So he's dropped off the bike, and I'm going to show you guys what I found. So one of the first things we noticed, of course, was that we were missing body panel bolts. The body panels were not even installed correctly. They were not aligned up. They're overlapping stuff, not put together properly. I know ZX14s are not the easiest ones to put back together, but take your time, do it right, get them on there right. Obviously, when they pulled out the fuel injectors, they pulled the throttle bodies out to get them out, and they didn't even bother to tighten the lower clamps on either side, so the throttle bodies are not tight in the cylinder head. They clearly didn't get the OEM clamps back on there, and they didn't want to take it back apart, so they went ahead and just threw some Home Depot clamps on there, and they're not on right. You can't really see it too well, but cylinder number 3, the boot is not even all the way down over the throttle body, so that's a massive leak. But the very next thing is, and this is the biggest problem here, is up in there you can see all the JB weld on that. Well, that JB weld is holding the engine coolant temp sensor together because it was broken. So that engine coolant temp sensor being broken would be the reason why the bike had its check engine light. When I put the scanner on it and I looked, sure enough, it said engine coolant temp sensor error. And it's also, if you look at what the voltage is showing, it's showing it, the bike thinks it's like 60 degrees below zero. It's like 85, 90 degrees outside. So the sensor is not giving a correct reading, therefore the bike will overly fuel. Why? Because when the air is cold, especially 60 degrees below zero, it's really, really dense. When it's that dense, it needs more fuel. So that's why the bike is blowing black smoke. It's got leaks at the throttle body boots, and the sensor thinks it's really cold out, so it adds way more fuel than what it needs. The map sensor also doesn't see the proper readings, so that's why the bike is hard to start, because the ZX14 uses 2 individual map sensors for it to find out which cylinder is about to fire. That's how it synchronizes the fuel injection to run full sequential injection, so that's why it takes so long for it to fire. So we'll get these parts, we'll correct them, and this customer will be ready to go again. And hopefully, I know it's a drive, but hopefully he'll bring it back to South Carolina again and let me fix it if there's ever another issue, so that we don't have to end up paying 3 times the amount for a fuel pump. So